You want to see a pumpkin fly?
At the World Championship of Punkin Chunkin, medieval weapons of war and state-of-the-art firepower battle it out to see how far they can launch a pumpkin.
That's a chunk, baby!
And for the 100-plus teams, chunkin isn't a hobby, it's a year-round commitment.
I spend the majority of my waking hours thinking about how do you stay ahead of the competition.
I put in probably about 60 hours a week since about middle April. 30 October?
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy.
So Mike and I are going to take you around the country to meet the teams.
Let's do it again!
Oh, yeah.
And the machines.
Theoretically, we could break the sound barrier with a vegetable.
Looking to capture Punkin Chunkin glory.
That's more like it.
Hi, I'm Zach Selwyn.
And I'm Mike Sinisi.
And we're here in Bridgeville, Delaware, a small town with a population of roughly 1,400 people that's known for its farms, its tree-lined streets, and its scrapple. Every November, however, it becomes host to the Punkin Chunkin World Championship.
Backyard engineers converge on this 800-acre farm with an arsenal of heavy-duty firepower.
Their ammunition? 1 8 to 10-pound pumpkin.
Their goal, to launch, blast, throw, or hurl this pumpkin further than anyone else. And as long as you don't use explosives, anything goes.
But before these competitors make it to the firing line, they must first perfect their prized chunkers. So Mike and I split up and hit the road.
Woo! So you're trying to take everybody out.
That's what I'm trying to do.
To see what it takes for a chunker to become a contender.
That thing is still going. That thing had a stewardess on it.
In just a few short months, these teams will be duking it out to take home this. The 7-foot-tall, 850-pound trophy awarded to the overall winner, the chunker that hits the farthest distance.
This is a champion trophy. This trophy is the Stanley Cup of Punkin Chunkin. You got it, and they gotta come and get it.
And right now, that trophy lives in Milton, Delaware, home to the 2008 World Champions, Young Glory 3. It's September. Punkin Chunkin 2009 is just 2 months away. And the Young Glory 3 team is pulling their gun out of storage to practice assembling their 60-foot-long barrel.
I'm Jake Burton, and this is my air cannon, Young Glory 3.
Jake is the first son of Punkin Chunkin. His dad, Chuck, is one of Punkin Chunkin's founding fathers.
We started back in 1986. We've had a great time doing it. It was just basically a challenge and a big party. Jake was basically born into Punkin Chunkin, and we just knew that he was going to be a champion.
Ever since I was little, I always wanted to be world champion. That was kind of the long-distance goal. When I started building Young Glory 3 when I was about 14, I just kind of started stepping away from everybody and kind of doing it on my own.
Young Glory 3 is a big gun, weighing in at 12.5 tons with a barrel reach of 60 feet.
We set our world record in 2008, 4,483 feet.
That's just 800 feet less than a mile. 2008 was the 14th straight year that an air cannon has taken home the overall trophy. So why do air cannons, like Young Glory 3, continue to dominate the mechanicals? It all comes down to pressurized air. Air cannons use compressors to jam everyday breathing air into specially designed tanks. When the air is released, it shoots through the barrel of the cannon, pushing out the pumpkin at speeds in excess of 600 miles per hour, faster than a commercial jet. The chunk might be months away, but Jake is ready to defend his title, and Young Glory 3 is already in fighting form.
This year, we didn't really make a whole lot of changes. Rolling with last year's plan, we outshot the competition by right around 400 feet, so I don't see where anybody's gonna sneak up on us this year. We're here to set world records, and we want to outshoot everybody.
But just down the road, there's a much smaller cannon out to prove that size doesn't matter. Meet Rick Garloff and Team Chunkinology.
I think when you get into the bigger machines, the owners are just trying to compensate for something that they lack somewhere else in their life.
Oh, yeah, Ralphie.
We are live! We are live!
At less than 6 feet tall and only 2,700 pounds, Chunkinology is a featherweight compared to Young Glory 3.
Their machine's just so small, but somehow it comes out and shoots far every year.
While we were building this machine, we actually had spies come to our shop. And one of the gentlemen made a comment. He says, "You're not going to shoot over 2,500 feet. Your tank's not big enough. Your barrel's not long enough. You're just going out there to play. You're not going out there to compete."
Team Captain Rick Garloff shows me how this scrappy cannon is able to run with the big dogs.
You know, you guys are definitely about half the size of some of your competitors. What is it about you guys that keeps you so small, but yet so ambitious?
We try to do it and do it right the first time. Attention to detail is what it is, mainly.
Whatever Rick's doing, it's working. In 2008, Chunkinology became just the 7th team to join the exclusive 4,000-foot club.
4,000-foot club! The 4,000-foot club is any team that shoots a pumpkin over 4,000 feet. And indeed, last year, we shot 4,042.24 feet. It's an elite club.
Rick's little gun packs a big punch.
This is a 500-gallon propane cylinder. It's been converted into a pumpkin chunking tank.
What are the average sizes for air cannon tanks?
Probably 1,000 gallons.
But Rick makes up for his volume deficit with an emphasis on quick air release.
We rely on flow. Being that our tank is so small, we have to get rid of that air as fast as possible.
Rick is working to perfect a hydraulic hair trigger, which empties his tank as quickly as possible through his 40-foot-long barrel. And this little cannon is gunning for the big prize.
We'd love to have that great big wooden trophy out in front of my building. Young Glory 3 sitting with the world record. We're only 400 some odd feet from him. It's not a whole lot of distance.
Chunkinology is itching to knock Young Glory 3 down a notch. And although the chunk is still 2 months away, it's never too early to settle a score. So today, these two rivals are getting together for some pre-chunk target practice.
All right, guys, here's how it works. Each team will fire shots at the camper. Whatever team hits the camper most wins. Chunkinology, you ready? Yeah. Young Glory, you ready? 3, 2, 1, fire! Woo! Nice shooting, Tech.
Yeah, that's right. Chunkinology got it done, baby.
That's what it's all about, baby. Firing Chunkinology pumpkins at an old camper. I live for this stuff. Oh! Wide right or wide left. Waste of a good pumpkin. I hope I didn't kill a deer or anything just now. Fire in the hole!
That was the money shot, baby.
This looks like a meth lab gone awry. Glass, wood, pumpkin, shrapnel all over the place. How fast were these pumpkins speeding at this camper?
We don't have a radar gun or anything, but approximately 500 miles per hour.
We're gonna have to give the title to you, especially for the destruction.
Take sloppy seconds.
Sloppy seconds.
Young Glory 3 may have won the shootout, but the real champion will be crowned on the firing line at the 2009 Chunk. Mike and I are on the road to Punkin Chunkin. We're checking in with backyard engineers from across the country to see what it takes to make a pumpkin fly. When Punkin Chunkin was in its infancy, medieval-style mechanical machines like catapults and trebuchets ruled the playing field. But then the air cannons entered the ring. And the guns have dominated ever since.
Historically, since they've come on the scene, they've held the world records.
I don't believe any other types of machines could win. As long as I'm out there, they're not going to beat me.
But this year, there's a team in the torsion division that's attempting to engineer what could be the greatest upset in Punkin Chunkin history.
The air cannons, they had their time. They're dinosaurs. Their time has come and gone.
Asbury, New Jersey is home to the bad boys of Punkin Chunkin. Team Chucky.
You know, we do like to cause a ruckus. You know, we run around with sledgehammers.
That's a truth, baby!
But no one can argue with their results. In 2008, their machine Chucky 2 took torsion to a whole new level, hitting the torsion record distance of 3,091 feet.
We've broken the world record for every mechanical division. We've thrown farther than every trebuchet, we've thrown farther than every torsion catapult, we've thrown farther than every unlimited catapult ever.
With Chucky 2, we beat a quarter of the air cannons, and that leaves just 75% left.
Now, a normal team would have spent the offseason tweaking a record-setting machine. But Team Chucky is anything but normal. Mike's gotta see these guys in person.
What is this beautiful piece of construction right here?
This is Chucky 3, the next generation.
You guys are champions with Chucky 2. And now you're building something new?
Well, I'm looking for the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail in this game is 1 mile.
1 mile. So you're trying to take everybody out.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Torsion catapults were first developed over 2,000 years ago by the Greeks and perfected by the Romans as a weapon of war. They discovered that twisted rope stores an incredible amount of potential energy in what's called a rope bundle. The catapult arm sticks straight up from the center of the bundle, which is racked back with a winch into firing position. When the pin is pulled, the arm snaps back into its original position, flinging the pumpkin. The 2009 Chunk is just 6 weeks away, and Team Chucky has only finished the frame. There's a lot more work to do, so Mike's been drafted.
Oh, you guys are strong. I'm not even doing that.
Yeah.
All right, now where's those bearings? Oh, there we go, there we go.
All right, this is a big moment. Team Chucky just got their throwing arm put into place. There'll be an 18.5-foot extension sticking off of the end of this. That's what whips those pumpkins to championship distances.
You don't want none of this. None of this.
Unlike ancient torsion machines, the throwing arm on Chucky 3 isn't placed in the twisted rope bundle, because Mark's added a twist of his own, which he believes corrects a major flaw in the conventional catapult. And he's made a model to demonstrate.
Unfortunately, there's some limitations to torsion machines. Our old machine, Chucky 2, is basically a Roman-style torsion machine.
Okay.
The arm goes parallel to the ground and ends up at about 45 degrees forward. You can't get much more stroke out of a torsion machine.
Okay, so you get 135 degrees of travel.
About 135 degrees. So what this does, by using 2 arms, one small arm that's in the bundle,
okay,
and a longer, lighter throwing arm that goes through more stroke, what this machine does is let us get 100 degrees more, 235 degrees of stroke.
This is actually a major innovation.
Absolutely. You just imagine if you went to throw a ball and only moved your arm this much, you're not going to throw it very far. You cock back farther, you could throw it farther. You really cock back and get more stroke out of it, you could throw farther.
And that way you get more speed and a further throw.
Because speed is what it's all about. 3, 2, 1, fire in the hole. You want some of that?
I didn't even see this thing move.
Oh, yeah. It's too fast.
You've built yourself a death machine.
Well, you know what? No one's going to get hurt. Just some pumpkins and some of the feelings, and some of the air cannon teams. That's about it.
If Chucky 3 is able to finish in time, they should have a lock on the Torsion Division trophy. But in Bridgeville, Delaware, there's one machine that year after year is almost guaranteed to come home a winner. Meet Bad to the Bone, a 40-foot tall spinning monstrosity powered by a diesel truck, which has dominated the centrifugal division for 13 years.
Bad to the Bone is just insane. It is the most visually stunning machine to watch. It might not throw as far as air cannons, but as far as spectacles, outrageous. I love it.
It's round and round, building up speed, making a scary whistling noise, and then all of a sudden the pumpkin is gone and just flies off into the sky. Yeah, great machine.
Bad to the Bone is engineered to Punkin Chunkin perfection. Team leader Donnie Jefferson shows me what it means to be a dynasty.
Are you guaranteeing a victory right now? You Joe Namathing it?
Yeah, I'll guarantee it.
There it is, right there. You heard it.
Yeah.
Bad to the Bone going for 14. Done.
It's just like Christmas. You know it's coming.
The centrifugal machines achieve distance by spinning around a fixed axis, faster and faster, building up kinetic energy. Special triggers ensure that the pumpkin is released with precise timing to achieve maximum distance. And it's the trigger mechanism that gives Bad to the Bone the competitive edge.
Now, what about the release point? Is there like a secret to how to release the pumpkin at the right time to make it fly properly?
After years of doing it, you figure out how to do it.
It's like your inside secret that every other team wants to know, by the way.
You don't let those secrets go.
Is there anything different about this machine this year that's going to make it go any further?
I think our philosophy is why change something if it ain't broke, you know what I mean?
And to demonstrate his dominance, Donnie agrees to give us a test fire.
When the horn blows, the pumpkin flies.
Now this is just for the cameras. Donnie hasn't needed a practice session in years.
Wow, that's how pumpkin flies. Ain't that have hit the highway?
The pumpkin travels an estimated 1,000 feet.
That thing is still going. That thing had a stewardess on it.
And considering the machine was only cranked up halfway, Bad to the Bone is on the road to its 14th straight win. But 1,800 miles away, in Arvada, Colorado, there's a dark horse team looking to take down the Bad to the Bone dynasty and reinvent the entire centrifugal division in the process. Meet Greg Wolf and Team Inertia.
I don't think Bad to the Bone realizes that we even exist out here, but they will shortly.
There's only 6 weeks until Punkin Chunkin. And Greg's working on a top secret design, a radical update to the traditional centrifugal, which he calls Inertia 2.
Now what it is, it's never been done before. Shh, don't tell Bad to the Bone. But it is a centrifugal machine hybrid. All the other centrifugal machines, they hold the pumpkin at the end of the arm, they get it going, and then just release it. We're gonna do kind of the same thing, but instead of holding the pumpkin at the end, we hold it in the center of the axle.
When the arm reaches maximum spin, the pumpkin releases from the center, swinging out on a sling for an incredible boost of speed.
Now, about a year ago, I drew this. This is my original design with all of my numbers, feet per second. And if my calculations are correct, at 240 RPM, the pumpkin will leave the machine about 85 feet in the air, and it'll be doing 692 miles an hour. Theoretically, we could break the sound barrier with a vegetable.
For Greg, building Inertia isn't just a labor of love, it's a family affair.
My lovely bride, Diane, spent about 2.5 hours cutting every one of these at 45-degree angles.
It is a dirty job, and if you'll notice, these aren't really chopped fingernails. I've gotten really good at getting axle grease out from underneath them. You can do that.
I'm Michael Hughes. I'm Diane's son.
Just a big bunch of metal launching a pumpkin a mile. I'd say it's pretty cool.
Most of Greg's family and friends have been supportive of his wild dream, with one notable exception.
No, I never seen anything like this before in my life. I've never even heard of anything like this in my life. This is cast aluminum, like a baby thing, like for a baby carriage. The boy's an idiot. That's it. He just is.
Today, Team Inertia is working towards a major milestone.
I'd say Dad's gonna have to buy a bigger shop.
putting together the massive 28-foot throwing arm.
We need to put the tip of that arm the exact distance off the ground as the center of this axle. And then, no matter what, they're straight.
Greg's fabricating his 1,200-pound arm out of mild steel pipe, which is incredibly strong and incredibly heavy.
By the way, for the record, this is probably one of the most crucial welds on this entire project. And according to my self-proclaimed engineering degree, that should hold.
The end result, a strong, perfectly balanced throwing arm. The arm is a big step in the completion of Inertia 2. If all goes as planned, they should be throwing within a week.
I think we're ready to set it up and spin it.
We've got 4 weeks to go to the Punkin World Championship, and we've seen some state-of-the-art firepower. But in Greenfield, New Hampshire, there's one throwback competitor in the Trebuchet division that wouldn't be out of place knocking down castle walls in medieval Europe. Meet Yankee Siege, the 5-time division champion, holder of the Trebuchet world record, 1,897 feet, and the largest competitor on the firing line.
Everyone wants to see Yankee Siege. That thing's a monster. It's outrageous.
It's a classic, big machine, huge weight, 12,000 pounds plus.
This is Yankee Siege. This is a 26-ton, 6-story high trebuchet.
At their core, trebuchets are like a giant lever with one end attached to a massive counterweight. When that counterweight drops, it flips the lever upward, flinging the pumpkin.
A trebuchet is an ancient siege machine. They would throw 200 to 300-pound boulders at a castle wall. There's certain basic parts to the machine. There's a winch system underneath the machine. That's a series of gears to pull down the arm, pull up the counterweight. This is the counterweight. It's just a giant box. In medieval times, they would fill it with sand or rocks. We decided that we wanted a little bit more concentrated, so we've partially filled the box with railroad track.
That box weighs 6 tons, about as much as 2 Hummers. For most of the year, Yankee Siege reigns over a 65-acre medieval-themed New Hampshire pumpkin farm. Chunkin' boulders for tourists. Throwing boulders is for fun. But Steve is dead serious when it comes to the Punkin competition.
We're very competitive, won it 5 years in a row. Our competitors are coming up on us very quickly. They want the title. In order to stay competitive, we have had to change the throwing arm. Original arm, really too heavy for competition. Doesn't rotate quickly enough. It's all about speed at the tip. This is a new arm. They just set it in place. The last 8 feet is carbon fiber. We think it's strong enough. It may destroy itself on the first throw. We don't know. I'm gonna load the pumpkin, pull the trigger, and see what happens. This is a new throwing arm, so we're gonna have everybody step way back, right way back to those cars. Okay, we got fire in the hole. Go ahead. Oh, my God. That was fast. That was very, very, very fast. That was a line drive, but that went far as a line drive. We're gonna change the pin angle so it releases a little bit sooner. We held together. That's the important point. That's the important point. We held together. My heart's still racing.
Besides the new arm, these Yankees are sticking to the traditional trebuchet model. But below the Mason-Dixon line, there's a team that's reinventing the trebuchet for the 21st century. Leesburg, Virginia, home of Chris Giroux and Merlin. Before he built Merlin, Chris ruled the trebuchet division with King Arthur.
King Arthur was the first one to go through the 1,000-foot barrier.
But in 2004, Yankee Siege muscled the king off his throne and stole the crown. Now Chris is ready for payback, and Mike's in Leesburg to meet Trebuchet 2.0, Merlin.
Holy cow.
But this thing is as big as a locomotive.
Well, wait till you see what it looks like when we get it erected.
With a simple push of the button, Chris can activate a hydraulic system that makes his trebuchet stand up straight to its full height of 50 feet.
That, my friends, is in place.
This is absolutely mind-blowing.
It's a little different than when it's down, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Why would you do this?
To throw pumpkins. Why else?
Yeah. Well, if you're up against Yankee Siege, you need something that's able to battle that type of tonnage.
Yeah.
And this seems like maybe you've got a shot here.
Merlin looks nothing like a traditional trebuchet.
If you look at this arm here, I don't have any counterweights on it.
Chris spent 1.5 years designing a trebuchet that's powered on gravity, not counterweights.
This is essentially the design we're going to use to beat Yankee Siege.
Instead of the counterweight dropping, the entire arm moves along this J-shaped track.
Carrot drops, and then floating arm whips around, and we got a sling that then throws the pumpkin off the top.
Yeah. Basically, what the sling is doing is giving it a larger arc further away from the center, and that gives it the speed.
Okay, it's like
really
cracking a whip.
Yeah.
This unique design is gunning for Yankee Siege's Achilles heel, efficiency.
Efficiency of machines is defined as the amount of energy that you store versus how much actually gets into the pumpkin. Yankee Siege is by far the least efficient machine of the entire competition. We've calculated it out to be around 5.9% efficient, which is horrible.
By relying on gravity, not counterweights, Merlin is as efficient as you can get.
Footage-wise, how far do you think that Merlin should throw?
We're shooting to go over 2,000 feet.
What are you going to do if you hit the 2,000-foot mark?
Well, we're going to break out the champagne, that's for sure. Yeah, you're going to find 7 guys that are really, really happy.
A 2,000-foot chunk would shatter Yankee Siege's record. And although Merlin has a few more days of prep before it's ready to test fire, Chris is right on schedule. But the same can't be said for the Dark Horse team out of Colorado. Inertia 2 is the brainchild of Greg Wolf. It's a radical update on the centrifugal, and it could be the design that finally beats Bad to the Bone. With only a month to go before the 2009 World Championship Punkin Chunkin', Greg's racing the clock to finish in time.
We're actually way behind schedule.
That's not good.
We've been working really late, almost every night, working 12-hour days on the weekends. When it goes, this will be... But I still think I'm confident we can get it done in time.
Team Inertia has already tried a test spin, but Greg could only get the arm up to 30 RPMs.
That's a scary son of a gun. Being that close to it, even at that speed, man, that thing is scary.
The steel pipe arms are too heavy to get the speed he needs for a championship chunk.
The amount of horsepower that it would take to reach 240 RPM with that much mass in 3 minutes was not feasible. It wasn't going to happen.
Greg's ditching those heavy arms for a much more lightweight version that resembles an airplane wing.
This is going to give me the speed that I need if you can get it going faster, quicker. Hopefully, if everything comes together right, we get this thing up to speed. I hit the launch button and boom, we launch a pumpkin.
At first, Inertia 2 seems to be running smoothly.
First gear, looks good. What was that? Don't touch the power line.
Well, that was catastrophic. That was brutal. That was brutal.
Oh, man.
In the fall, the arm is severely damaged. It's an emotional moment for the team. After months of work, this is a major setback.
I don't know where we go from here. I'm going to have to really take a step back and really take a look at things to figure out where it failed and why it failed. I'm not sure engineering-wise what the problem is or whether it can be fixed in time for nationals. I'm not sure.
Greg is going back to the drawing board. Inertia 2 needs a major redesign. And with only a month to go until Punkin 2009, he's got a long road ahead.
By this time each year, Punkin Chunkers are in the fine-tuning stage, working out the kinks to ensure that their machines perform flawlessly at the main event.
But in Asbury, New Jersey, Team Chucky has been battling the elements, losing almost 4 weekends of work to rain delays.
They need to test fire Chucky 3 to ensure this radical torsion redesign actually works. Time and tempers are getting short.
It's Saturday, it's raining, and it's miserable.
All the arguments and energy and burns and cuts and the shooting part, that adrenaline rush of pulling the trigger makes up for all of it, and there hasn't been that yet.
Tried my absolute hardest, right to the point where I'm almost killing myself. And there's nothing I can do, I can't fight the clock.
It's almost the end of October. Last year we were shooting by July. We were shooting the Chucky by July last year.
The Chucky boys are stressed. This isn't a team that's used to falling behind. But the same can't be said for one unlimited catapult team. In Prince Frederick, Maryland, to meet the perennial procrastinators, Team Hypertension.
Is it true that you guys have never fired a test Punkin in your entire careers?
That is true. Get down here 3 weeks before the chunk, put it together, get out on the field, throw, break something, fix it.
And all of our past wins, setting records, has been on the last throw of the chunk.
Yeah, we are the comeback kids, that's for sure.
In past years, Hypertension's been a major contender. They won the Unlimited Catapult division in both 2002 and 2004, and they've hit over 2,200 feet in competition. But in 2008, they didn't break 1,000 feet.
Last year, little disappointing finish. What happened?
We broke it in 2007 catastrophically, so we spent all last year making major modifications and ran out of time to be able to do any kind of timing or tuning. No testing.
It's like a rebuilding year for a football team or something.
Yeah. Catapults like Hypertension rely on the stored energy found within extension springs, which are stretched to the limit when the arm is locked into the firing position. When the arm is released, the springs snap back and the pumpkin flies. And Team Hypertension uses up to 30 springs to fling their pumpkins to championship distances.
What's the farthest you guys have ever gone with your catapult in general in past competitions?
Well, with the old one, we threw over 2,500 feet.
Not bad.
That's not bad, but the record is 2,800 feet, and obviously we want that world record back.
Yeah, you want to get one of these first place hats.
Yes, these are the big hats.
Yeah, enough of these, 8th place hats. They don't even make an 8th place hat.
I've never worn an 8th place hat.
No, they make a visor.
Yeah, I don't know if a visor will go on my head.
Good go.
Hypertension might not be worried that the chunk is in less than 2 weeks. But unfortunately for them, their biggest competitor is already getting in practice shots. So Mike's in Medford, New Jersey to pull the trigger with last year's Unlimited Catapult champion, Sir Chunks-a-Lot.
Wow, that's out there. Sir Chunks-a-Lot doesn't look like much, but it's a great machine.
Hypertension's quite a bit bigger than they are, but by history alone, they've proven that they can lay them out there and gain some really good distance.
Sir Chunks is on the smaller side, only 15 feet tall with a 10-foot-long throwing arm. But the team uses a power source that gives them a huge advantage.
To be a catapult, really all you need is some kind of a tension force.
Okay.
And we decided when we built this machine to try latex rubber tubing. And it's worked out very well.
Rubber tubing like rubber bands?
Not exactly. Rubber bands on steroids.
How exactly does all this work?
Basically, we wrap it between 2 pipes, and we connect it at both ends. Then we stretch those 2 pipes apart.
rubber tubing is powerful. It made Sir Chunks a champion. But it also led to a major disaster. You see, until 2008, Sir Chunks-a-Lot had a brother catapult, Sir Launch-a-Lot.
Sir Launch-a-Lot, let's just say we underestimated our power source, and we overestimated the strength of our engineered lumber, which made the two primary support beams. They snapped, and the machine imploded.
So the team doubled down on their reinforcement to get Sir Chunks-a-Lot ready for their first test fire of the season.
Okay, we are ready in 3, 2, 1.
I got a pretty good line on it. From your point of view, it would have been way off to the left.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it hooked left.
A shot that crooked could mean there's something wrong with the machine.
What's going on here, guys? Rubbers aren't lining up just right?
The far bracket, it's shifting, it's racking. We're not quite sure why. Something we're gonna need to address. Now you have the stretched out rubber, contacting the edge of plate steel. And we don't want one of these cutting loose, right. I mean, for many reasons, Want me to hold the bracket up?
The Sir Chunks team rearranges their pulleys to see if that will even out the stresses placed on the rubber tubing.
And good. I think it's good. So they're tensioning up Sir Chunks-a-Lot. They made some adjustments. We're gonna see if we can get this thing to test fire.
Okay, we are ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holy, that's gone.
Look at that. Look at that.
Wow, that's gone. That's more like it.
Boom! That's a huge throw. It's better than the shot that won them the Unlimited Catapult Division last year. Sir Chunks is ready for the competition. But back in Arvada, Colorado, Team Inertia is recovering from their catastrophic failure. On paper, the arm was perfect, but paper can't predict the weather.
Is it the wind? Is it the wind that caused the biggest problem?
The arm failed because of a strong crosswind, which snapped the guy wires.
That's the one I saw that came loose.
With just 1 week to go before Punkin' 2009, Greg is welding away at a new uncovered arm that can withstand heavy winds.
You weld while you drive, Greg?
Rebuilding the arm is the easy part.
We actually got the right arm on it this time. I think we've got the winning ticket here. The arm worked good. RPM was great. We got it into second gear.
But if Inertia 2 has any hope of taking on the reigning Centrifugal Division champs bad to the bone, they need to make sure their machine can actually launch a pumpkin. And Delaware is fast approaching. So Greg's going to a local chunkin' event. It's Hail Mary time.
We're going to unveil it to the world. We're going to do a nice little lob. It'll be a good test run, even just first or second gear.
But once again, Mother Nature throws a curveball.
Today's high is 26 degrees. It's extremely cold here today. Luckily, we didn't freeze the block. After all the things I've been thinking about, that just wasn't one of the things I thought of.
And that extreme cold means that Inertia can't get up to full speed. But Greg isn't ready to pack it up just yet.
Did really well. We took first place. It was 877 feet. Really happy. We're back on track. We're going to do it. We're going to do this.
Inertia 2 can launch a pumpkin. The design is a success. But the distance of 877 feet is a fraction of what Bad to the Bone is capable of.
So, welcome to seeing new competition come into the game. We got it covered. I'm not worried.
This year's Punkin' Chunkin' is about to begin, and over 100 competitors are set to rain pumpkin destruction all over the playing field. But for some teams, it's a race to the finish just to get to the firing line. In Colorado, Centrifugal Team Inertia has managed to fire a pumpkin. But there's no time to celebrate. They have 1,800 miles to drive and just 3 days to go before the start of the 2009 chunk.
We're getting ready to put everything inside the trailer to go to
RdPunkin09.
It's all strapped down, ready to go. All we have to do is back our RV up and hook her up.
There's a long road ahead, but to Greg, part of the journey is already complete.
Even if we don't break the world record, if we don't capture all the things that we wanted to do, at worst, my kids and everybody else, they've seen what you can do when you have a dream. It's a good day to drive to Delaware.
And while Team Inertia is starting their cross-country trip, Torsion Team Chucky is in overdrive.
We're working hard, trying to get the last pieces together.
The chunk is days away, and they still haven't thrown a pumpkin. But all those late nights are finally paying off.
Oh, we're so excited. We're so close right now. It's, we can taste it.
It's time for the final piece of the puzzle, the string up, which will create Chucky 3's massive torsion rope bundle.
This is dynamite right here. This is mechanical dynamite.
Team Chucky is threading 500 feet of braided polyester rope.
Only 636 wraps to go. Pulling. Hey, slow it up, slow it up.
Tight. We don't want to lose this tension. We can't get it back.
If that vice grip's no good, here, take another one. That's got to stay clamped on tight.
Do me a favor. Quiet over there.
Back to me. How much they got?
Keep going, keep 2 feet.
2 feet more?
Okay, good.
Is that it? All right, we're good then.
The torsion bundle is in place, and it's time for Team Chucky 3 to hit the road.
Power arm is in. Of course, we haven't test fired it yet.
Yeah, let's get this friggin' show on the road, Dinsky.
It's Thursday morning in Delaware. It's the day before the chunk. Less than 24 hours until Punkin Chunkin' 2009.
We got in Tuesday, set the machine up yesterday. We're doing the final preparations now. Fairly soon we'll be taking our first shot.
Yeah, looks good. We're ready to go.
This is the day before the competition. We're ready to shoot some pumpkins as of tomorrow.
I know Chunkinology wants our title, but I don't think I'm going to let them come up and take it. So we got a bigger cannon than theirs.
All right, so right now we're just assembling the top.
This year has been a lot of rain, a lot of stitches, a lot of problems, but we persevere, we're forging ahead.
So we got a huge change, we did a lot of testing. Really excited to see, if it pays off. I'm ready for everything and anything.
If I take a sip of water right now, it'll actually upset my stomach. The butterflies are rolling, the goosebumps are flying.
Well, we're certainly ready to go.
We're either going to break the machine or we're going to break the record.
I mean, this is game day. We are here.
It's taken years of planning and months of hard work, but these guys are on the firing line, and they got some itchy trigger fingers. Yes, it's the moment of reckoning.
Punkin Chunkin 2009 is about to begin. Will the air cannons once again reign supreme, or will this be the year that the mechanicals strike back?
Whatever happens, over 300 pumpkins are about to meet their maker.